Hi there. Today we are going to be looking at a demo of the Syncfusion Dashboard. I'm going to focus this video on the Syncfusion Dashboard Designer. The Syncfusion Dashboard is a very powerful dashboarding platform. It's end-to-end. There is a designer that we're going to be looking at today. It is also backed up by a server, a complete server with configurable security groups. You can share your dashboards with other users. And the whole thing is really a code-free environment, has rich support for building dashboards just with the drag and drop interface. It's also compatible with our ETL platform, so you can bring in data from any kind of data source, work with it, transform it, and then finally bring it to a form where it can be consumed by the dashboard, and you can build a really high quality dashboard. The other thing that I want to kind of really talk about is that the dashboard is really very different from other dashboard products that are out there. A lot of the dashboard products that are currently out there are pretty dated in their look and feel, pretty dated in how they perform with mobile clients. Our platform is built from scratch to be really top-notch on mobile clients, to look and feel like it's 2016 basically. So enough with the introduction. We'll actually walk through and take a look at the dashboard designer in action. So this is the surface of the dashboard designer. I have created a dashboard from data from the Northwind database. It's a very popular database that's shipped with SQL Server for many years. So we've taken data from that. The raw data is, in this case, just for ease of use, in a Excel file. So you can see that each table is in a sheet in Excel. This doesn't have to be the case. We can actually directly connect to a SQL data source, or handle any number of intermediate formats to bring in the data. It just makes it easier to ship a sample when you have the data self-contained in the same folder. So I have it in Excel sheet, imported the data, and it's actually labeled as data source 1. So I'm going to open that data source on the surface of the dashboard designer, and then talk a little bit about that before we look at the actual dashboard. So the surface will pick up the tables of data here, mapping to sheets containing the information from tables. And you can enable or disable some of these. So in this case, we are actually just interested in the customers, the order details, the orders, and the product table. The dashboard designer is smart enough to figure out the relationships between these tables. So you can see that it actually automatically picked up these relationships. And then you also can see a preview at the bottom here, basically. So you can see that the data is all kind of joined together and then shown as a preview here. So this is the raw data that we have to work with. And as with any other similar environment, you can do filters, you can customize how the joins are handled with the join editor and all of that. There's also support for computed columns. So in this case, I have a special computed column called order total, which is computed from unit price and quantity. Those are multiplied to give me the order total. So I have those all set up here. And just to kind of summarize, you can pretty much bring in data from a bunch of tables, and then merge them here, and then filter them, bring them to a form that you are comfortable will be used to build your dashboard. And you can have computed columns as well. So let's go back now to the dashboard surface. So in this case, I've already configured a dashboard. I have a few widgets here that I'm going to talk about, and we'll go through and look at how these are customized and so forth, just to give you a working idea of the dashboard. So I have a filter widget at the top. In this case, it's a date filter. So if you scroll on the left side, you can see all the different widgets that we offer. And one of the category, so widgets here, is that we have a filter, basically, filter widget. So in this case, this is a filter widget, and it's set up to handle a datetime range. And let's look at the settings for the widget. So you see that there are two categories here: the properties of the widget, which are the display time properties and how you configure it and so forth. And the most important thing here is that we have set it to a range of data and not to a single date value. And then we also enable the use of a date picker here, basically. And then if you look at the actual data, it's simply picking up data from a column, a specific column. And you can also configure that column. You can set up filters, the notion of relative dates. If you look at this, it can actually be configured to say, give user-friendly filter options such as last 15 years, last 20 years, last 5 years, last X number of months, and so forth, just to make it easier for the user to deal with the data. This also acts as a master widget, so which would mean that anything that is set here will propagate to other elements on the surface, basically, of the dashboard. So this is set up to be a data source, if you will, for other elements at runtime. So let's go back to the designer here. This is a card of data. So in this case, this card is showing total sales, and you have another card that's displaying quantity of data, that the quantity of items sold. So let's look at the configuration again for the widget. And this is following a familiar theme. As you can see, there are properties which control how this thing behaves, and then you have the data. So it's really simple to set up. So in this case, the data is simply a summary of the order total. So it's just a roll-up summary of the order total, and then that's what is displayed here. You can have different things set here: the title color, how it's aligned, and what kind of foreground value, and all of that, just to make it look nice. You also always have settings such as linking. So if you want to link to a specific URL and have that URL parameterized by different elements that make a part of the card, then you can do that as well, basically. So that's the card that's visible here. The other widget here is a pivot table. So it's, if you look at the pivot table, again, no surprises, you have properties and data. And if you look at the data, it's pretty easy to understand what's going on. So your values are the sum of order totals, those are rolled up. And then you have product names as rows, and then ship country is the actual column. So you can see all the countries as the columns here, and then you can see all the rows with the actual individual products. And that's pretty much all there is. And you can, of course, control all the look and feel, whether you want to have a certain title, border, what kind of filtering you want to allow, and export options and so forth. Basically, it's very straightforward to configure it. So that gives you an idea. This is a tree map, and this is a chart. So if you look at the chart again, the theme should be familiar. It's always going to be properties, and properties that make sense for the widget. Here we have some linking configured. Another interesting thing that is configured on the data level here is with charts. You don't want to see 100 products, basically, because that would look really cluttered. So you can actually go in and set a filter that's based on maybe having the top 10 products, basically. So in this case, we have the top 10 products appear on the system. The others will be excluded. And depending on what your needs are, you can configure those filters and have them behave in any manner that you want, basically. So that's kind of how this is laid out. And you can see that we have a rich complement of widgets that can be dragged onto the surface of the designer and configured. So let's see how this looks in action. I'm going to click on the preview button and let it load. But I already have a loaded version here that I'm just going to bring in just to save some time. So this is how it looks inside the browser. So one thing that you will readily kind of observe is that there is a very high degree of fidelity between what you see inside the browser and the designer surface. And this is very carefully designed to behave that way, basically. So we have a very special rendering system that behaves exactly the same within the browser and within the design time environment. A lot of work went into making this possible, but you will get 100% fidelity with what you design on the browser surface. The other aspect that I want to quickly show before I end, we will not go into detail with this, but is that this can be published to a server that we ship and shared with other users, complete with security settings. So, but that will be another video. This is just a quick high-level walkthrough the designer element of the Syncfusion Dashboard Platform. So hopefully this gives you a quick idea of what is possible with the Syncfusion Dashboard, and you can actually download a fully functional evaluation from our website. If you're a Syncfusion customer, you already get some rights to use the dashboard platform without paying anything more. If you're a Syncfusion global license holder, there's excellent news for you. You can actually deploy the dashboard to any number of users within the organization, any number of servers. You already have this as part of your subscription, basically. So take a look at it. As usual, if you have any questions, comments, please do contact us through support. We look forward to hearing from you. Thanks again for your time.